The conversations and laughter echoed off the walls of the exhibit as we explored the whole room, jumping with energy, leaping from information table to the next with inquisitive, curious eyes. It was finally the day of Mrs. Nuha's 4th grade end-of-the-year field trip to the Canadian Aviation and Space Museum. As I pored over all the interactive showpieces, the people's voices around me were drowned out by the excitement and the whirlwind of thoughts and ideas in my head. It was just me, alone with my ideas. I faded into the background of the frivolous laughter of my classmates and the incoherent ramblings of the tour guide and my teacher. But just then, amidst all the chaos, I noticed something in the other exhibit room. It was extraordinary, and it was mysterious. I was hypnotized. I waited until the perfect opportunity, when everyone was distracted, to sneak off. And when I saw that chance, I leapt into action, quickly, yet quietly, sneaking off into the next room, unbeknownst to the rest of my class. As soon as I entered the room, my jaw dropped to the floor in awe of the sights before me. Rows upon rows upon rows of retired space shuttle modules. I was in awe and in utter disbelief of the incredible and amazing engineering marvels of human species. On that day, my passion for the cosmos was born, and this experience resonated with my curious, inquisitive self. You see, I've always been an avid reader, so from that day onward, I lived in the library. It was literally my second home every day when I got home from school, totally engulfed in all the books I could find about space. From fictional space adventures jam-packed with adventure, to the non-fictional, informative books that focus more on inspiring my school projects. From the countless documentaries about the mysteries of the universe, the history of space travel, all the way to the Hollywood blockbusters with terrifying alien chest bursters and friendly extraterrestrials flying bicycles by the moon. You see, I was obsessed and hooked on trying to answer that age-old question. Is anybody out there? Today, I'm still not satisfied with the answer. Are we alone in this vast universe of energy, matter, chemistry, and physics? This has always perplexed me. You see, here's the problem. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Now, let's represent that with the age of 1 calendar year. Where do you think that humans have existed on this calendar year? How long do you think we have been around for? Think about it for a second.
10 seconds.
12 minutes. We have been around for 12 minutes. Such a tiny slice of the universe. But in those 12 minutes, we have transformed and evolved from the rudimentary, savage cavemen to using wooden and metal tools. And now, in present day, we have landed on the moon. We have explored the solar system, sending out countless probes. And in the future, we plan to colonize other planets. Clearly, in such our small slice of 12 minutes, we have accomplished such large feats. Surely, other civilizations must have done the same, if not more. But where are they? This problem is coined the Fermi paradox. Now, I have a task for all of you today. Let's all try and solve this perplexing conundrum together as a group, using the term of a filter. Now, here we will define a filter as a barrier or an obstacle that life must overcome for it to continue existing. For it to evolve and advance into a more civilized species, it needs to overcome these barriers to become the best version of itself that it can. Now, there are 3 scenarios where these filters can take place, and they have various degrees of scariness. Let's consider scenario 1. The filters are behind us. Woohoo! We've evolved so well. We've passed all these obstacles, and we are on the right track to surviving throughout the cosmos. Now, we think that it is way harder for complex life to develop than previously known. The process for life to begin isn't fully elucidated or fully understood yet. Perhaps the universe used to be such a hostile and punishing environment and it has only recently cooled down and allowed us to exist. That's wonderful. That would mean that we are very unique. That could mean that we are one of the first, if not the first, civilizations in the entire universe. Now let's consider scenario 2. The filters are not behind us, they're ahead of us. This would be really, really bad. Now imagine just for a second that life on our level exists everywhere throughout the universe, but it gets destroyed as soon as it reaches this level of advancement. This point that lies ahead of us will be our detriment. It'll be our downfall. If this is true, then we are closer to the end of human existence than we are to the beginning. Consider for a moment, in the past few decades, the amount of nuclear warheads that we have created. At a single push of a button, the entirety of the human species can be decimated many times over. Does that scare you? Well, it certainly scares me. Let's consider the final and third scenario. We are alone. No one is home. The universe appears to be empty and dead, and no one is sending us any messages. No one is answering our calls. We may be completely alone, trapped in our fragile island of life in an enormous universe full of possibilities. It is quite magnificent how small we really are. If we let life on this planet die, perhaps there will be no life left in the universe at all. The delicate flame of life will cease to exist and, poof, vanish into oblivion. The silence of the universe is deafening. But I have hope, and you should all have hope too, that there are other conscious beings out there asking and answering the same questions that we have right now, that we are raising in our heads. That they also look up at the night sky, at the same stars as we do, but on the opposite side. That they have different names for our planet Earth, but these life forms will never get to meet. There may be eons and millennia away from us in technology, and their light will never reach us. But that doesn't mean that they don't exist. We dream of other worlds, and they seem too distant, too far to be seen with the naked eye alone. It seems like a moot point to dream and to wonder about the cosmos. Maybe one day we'll just give up on the search and throw in the towel. We'll get used to looking down and watching our feet as we walk, only occasionally glancing up to hurl a single satellite probe into the vast abyss of space, like a message in a bottle, with no one to receive it and no one to check if it has been received. Maybe it shouldn't matter if anyone ever finds it, like skipping a stone on the surface of a lake. It doesn't matter where the stone lands because we're not going to be around to see it happen. But I believe the human spirit is stronger than that, more persistent and everlasting, with an eager and vivacious blaze of curiosity that is permanent, despite how temporary our carbon-based bodies may be. We will always ask questions. You all are asking questions right now about the possibilities, including the ultimate question, is anybody out there? If this is answered, and I truly believe that it will be one day, it will be remembered forever, echoing through generations and withstanding the test of time. Because answering this question will be a leap in understanding more about nature, biology, and how life is created. A leap in understanding more about ourselves and what it means to be human. It will redefine our limits and what we thought was possible, because in reality, there are no limits in our potential to thrive as a species. So, look up when you're walking and dream of the great beyond.